Passerbys might notice caution signs lining a chain-link fence along the side of Jefferson Hill. What was once a staple of College Green's fabric is now an empty lot. Over the summer, the university demolished Brown House, one of the historic buildings on College Green, following a Board of Trustees vote in March.
It was just unsafe. We had done a building assessment, the foundation was failing. Also, when you look at what it would have taken the university to rehabilitate that facility, contributed to the decision. There's a big cost with that and a long-term maintenance issue. And then lastly, we have to make sure that it has aligned for the modern academic use. So from a programmatic perspective, we didn't see a great alignment with that as well. So those, those factors contributed to the decision to demolish it.
But the 90-year-old building's presence lingers, especially with local historians like Tom O'Grady.
It's one of the houses that have helped define the character of the most historic part of our community, and that would be the College Green.
O'Grady says this area is full of history.
This is where Ohio began. The people who came to southeast Ohio and harvested the resources of this region. Not only did they build Athens and many of these amazing communities in southeast Ohio, they harvested the resources that built the rest of Ohio.
And the architectural landscape helps to tell that history.
Our environment helps define who we are as a people. It gives us our identity. A lot of what we've inherited from the past was built for the ages. It was intended and expected to last.
But a string of demolitions in recent years at Ohio U frightens preservation advocates.
We're not talking about, an old barn getting torn down out on the back 40 that nobody sees. We're talking about houses and institutional buildings that have been part of our experience for every day that we are on this campus or in this town.
Especially with questions of climate change on the horizon.
If it's important to save bottles and cans and newspapers for purposes of protecting the planet we live on, if that leads us towards sustainability, then rehabilitating and repurposing old buildings, that's sustainability on steroids.
In July 2019, Brett Adams, an attorney and Ohio University alumni, made an attempt to purchase Brown House before it was torn down.
We can buy this house and we'll save the house, and it'll save the university $700,000 in expense. And for reasons yet to be known, and we are going to find out, they would not take a meeting.
The university was never interested in selling Brown House or the site. The site had a strategic value, located as it is, a very close proximity to the main green and other university facilities. So I would say it this way, we were not interested in selling the house or the site.
Adams was alarmed by the price tag for the demolition. He said it was high.
I immediately knew that the almost $700,000 price for tearing down the property was not accurate. I've done enough construction work that there is no way that those numbers made any sense. There's no question that compared to other other buildings that are being torn down in similar size and circumstances, that this price was too high. I mean, just on its face, the price needs to be questioned on its face.
The additional demolition of the Edgehill maintenance facility at the bottom of Jeff Hill, the abatement of asbestos inside Brown House, and the restoration of the hillside all played into the high cost, according to Wood. But Adams said his first concern was to save a historical structure. In an email on July 12, 2019 to Shauna Bolin, the Assistant Vice President for University Planning and Real Estate at Ohio U, he wrote, quote, "I was able to meet with critical partners now aligned to save Brown House," end quote. But Wood said he wasn't aware of any major protests to save the structure.
I am not aware of any protest associated with the Brown House demolition. So while the information was out for the community, I'm not aware of anybody forming up or doing anything to say we want to stop this activity.
Months later, the empty lot still serves as a reminder for some.
The house is gone. It's tragedy. It's tragedy. When I drove here, I drove by it to look at it. It's the second time I've seen the empty lot. and it's on the University of Green, and it could have been restored, it could have been saved.
But now, everyone is looking to the future.
We feel we're doing a great job on the small houses and making sure they remain viable for the academic community.
Brown House was one of the 14 buildings on the university's small house strategy. For Pilcher House, another small house, the Board of Trustees will meet in the future to discuss possible third-party interest in the structure. Bolin mentioned this to Adams. On July 9, 2019, she emailed him saying, "The university will be exploring options of public-private partnerships for the restoration and use of Pilcher House." Soon after, Adams requested a tour of the interior of Pilcher House, but the university did not respond to this email. And for O'Grady, he said he'd like to work with the university in seeing more room at the table for historians and preservationists to have a say in future decisions.
We all have to live here, and I really think we should all be working much better together.
They're part of this community, so the university should involve stakeholders, preservationists, the city of Athens. They should involve all of those people and make a decision that is best for everyone.
I really want the best for this community, and I'm not looking to you know, draw any lines in the sand. I know you can't save everything, but I know we should be trying to. And if we can't, we can't. But I'm not 100% sure we're trying.